Airports can be loud, but sometimes the deepest moments happen in silence. A single sentence can make your chest feel small, even when you did nothing wrong. And sometimes the help you're praying for arrives, not with noise, but with gentleness. This day began like any other, until one quiet stranger changed everything. She stood near the check-in lines with a simple carry-on and a folder held close to her chest.
Her clothes were neat, just not fancy. Her shoes looked well worn, like they had carried her through real life. She kept glancing at the departure board, then down at the paper in her hands, as if reading it could calm her breathing. In that folder was a letter, printed carefully. A chance. A job interview in another city. Not a dream of luxury, just stability. The kind that lets you pay rent on time, help family without panic, and sleep without counting the days until the next bill.
God, if this door is meant for me, make it open gently.
Behind her, an older couple spoke softly. A child tugged at a sleeve. Wheels of suitcases hummed across the floor like ocean waves. Not far away, a man sat alone on a bench, dressed simply, reading something on his phone. He looked calm, the kind of calm that didn't need to prove itself. Every so often he looked up, not to stare, but as if he noticed people in a way most didn't. When she finally reached the front of the line, she offered her documents with a polite smile. "Hi, I'm checking in for this flight." The staff member glanced at her ticket, then at her bag, then back at her, just a little too slowly.
"This line is for priority check-in," the staff member said, not cruelly, but sharply enough to sting. "Are you sure you're in the right place?" She blinked. Her cheeks warmed. She looked behind her, suddenly aware of the eyes, the impatience, the space she seemed to be taking up. I'm sorry," she whispered. "I didn't mean, my email said—" A sigh, a small gesture toward a different line. "The regular line is over there."
It wasn't yelling, it wasn't a scene, but it felt like being told quietly that she didn't belong. She lowered her gaze, gathered her papers, and stepped aside with shaking hands. And that was when the calm man on the bench stood up. She moved toward the regular line, holding her folder like it was the only thing keeping her steady. Still, she didn't push or complain. She simply exhaled slowly, like someone practicing patience on purpose. As she waited, a little moment happened, small enough that most people wouldn't notice. A child nearby dropped a stuffed toy and didn't realize it. The toy landed on the floor, face down, abandoned in the rush. Without thinking, she stepped forward, picked it up, dusted it gently, and tapped the child's guardian on the shoulder. "Excuse me, I think this belongs to someone important." The guardian turned, surprised, then smiled with visible relief. "Oh, thank you. We would have lost it." The child hugged the toy like it was treasure. The young woman smiled, and the tightness in her chest softened, just a little.
A few minutes later, an elderly woman struggled with a suitcase at the edge of the line. The wheel caught on the carpet, and the handle wobbled. Again, the young woman stepped in. "Let me help," she offered quietly. The elderly woman looked embarrassed. "I don't want to trouble you." "It's not trouble," she said, steady and warm. "It's just what we do for each other." They got the suitcase upright. The elderly woman's eyes turned a little shiny. "You have a gentle heart." The young woman looked down, almost shy. "I'm trying."
And then she noticed him, the calm man, standing not too far away now. He wasn't hovering, he wasn't trying to be noticed, but she felt his presence, the way you feel a light turn on in a dim room.
He spoke softly, as if matching her tone. "You didn't have to help, but you did." She blinked, surprised, then gave a small smile. It was the right thing. He nodded like that mattered to him more than anything else in the airport. Most people are too busy trying to get ahead. She held her folder tighter. Some of us are just trying to get through. A pause passed between them, gentle, not awkward, like the air itself was listening. He glanced at her papers, not reading them,
only noticing how carefully she held them. Important day? She hesitated, not because she didn't want to answer, because hope can feel fragile when you've been disappointed before. Maybe, she said, I'm trying not to expect too much. He offered a quiet kindness, the kind that doesn't demand anything back. I hope it goes well, he said. Sometimes doors open in ways we don't predict. She looked at him then, really looked. There was something steady in his eyes, like someone who had seen life from many sides and decided to stay gentle anyway. Thank you, she whispered. And for the first time since that small sting at the counter, she felt like she belonged somewhere again, even if it was only in a moment. When her turn came again, she stepped forward carefully, making sure she was in the correct line this time. She offered her documents with both hands, polite and composed. The staff member typed, frowned, and typed again. The staff member murmured. Her stomach tightened. Is something wrong? It says here your seat selection didn't go through, the staff member said, and the system shows a mismatch with the fare category. Her heart dropped, not dramatically, just quietly, like a candle losing oxygen. I paid, she said softly. I have the receipt. I printed everything. The staff member's tone stayed professional, but impatience seeped in. Sometimes these discount bookings cause issues. You might have to step aside while we fix it. Behind her, someone shifted and sighed. Another person glanced at her shoes, then her bag, then away. It wasn't hatred. It was that cold kind of assumption people make when they're in a hurry. She must have done something wrong. She swallowed, holding her folder tighter. I understand, she said. I'm sorry for the delay. The staff member motioned for her to move. We'll call you. She stepped aside, standing near a pillar, trying to breathe normally. She didn't want to cry, not here, not over a system error, not over a tone that made her feel small. She looked toward a window where planes rested like silver birds. She pressed her fingers against the folder and whispered another prayer, almost soundless. God, please don't let this fall apart.
That's when the calm man approached, still not rushing, still not making a show. May I ask what happened? He said gently. She hesitated, embarrassed. It's okay, it's probably my fault. The system, something didn't match. He studied the counter for a moment, then looked back at her. I don't think it's your fault. She let out a weak breath, almost a laugh without joy. They usually say that when it's your fault. He didn't argue. He simply said, sometimes people confuse simplicity with incompetence. Her eyes lifted to his, startled by the accuracy of that sentence. He stepped closer to the counter, not aggressively, more like someone walking into a conversation already in progress. Excuse me, he said to the staff member, calm and respectful. Could you explain what the mismatch is? The staff member glanced at him quickly and started to answer, then stopped, as if recognizing something familiar but not placing it yet. It's the fare category, the staff member said, and the line, she was in the wrong line earlier. He nodded slowly. Being in the wrong line doesn't erase someone's dignity. The staff member's face shifted slightly. I didn't mean. He raised a hand gently. I'm sure you didn't, but today she needs help, not assumptions. The young woman stood frozen, as if her own breath was waiting for permission to return. And then something changed, quietly, like a curtain moving in a breeze.
The staff member's eyes widened a fraction, as if a name had finally clicked in their memory, though no names were spoken. I'm sorry, the staff member said, suddenly more careful. One moment. Another staff member was called over, then another. The tone behind the counter shifted, not into fear, but into respectful attention. The calm man didn't enjoy it. He didn't posture. He simply stayed focused on the issue, like kindness was the only authority he cared about. A supervisor arrived and spoke softly to him. The supervisor's posture was polite in a way that suggested something important. Yes, the calm man replied quietly. Please fix it, and please do it with courtesy.
The young woman's eyes searched his face, confused. Who are you? She whispered, barely audible. He turned to her, and for a moment, his expression softened even more. Just someone who believes people should be treated well, he said. Then he added, almost like a confession, And someone who noticed how you treated others today. Her throat tightened. I didn't do anything special. He looked at her the way people look at something rare and honest. You did it without expecting anything back. That is special. A few minutes later, the supervisor returned with her updated boarding pass. We corrected the system error, the supervisor said gently. Your booking is valid, and we apologize for any inconvenience. The young woman accepted the pass with trembling hands. Thank you, she whispered. Her voice cracked on the edge of tears she had been holding back. The calm man stepped slightly aside so she could breathe. As they walked away from the counter, she finally asked again, softly, "Why did they react like that to you?" He paused, as if deciding how much truth to carry in this moment. "I lead the company that partners with this airline," he said quietly. "I don't usually say it. I prefer to travel like everyone else." Her eyes widened, not with greed or excitement, but with disbelief. "You're the CEO," she breathed. He nodded once. "Yes." She looked down at her worn shoes, suddenly feeling exposed. "I'm sorry. I didn't know." He gently shook his head. "That's the point. You were kind when you didn't know. That's the kind of person the world needs." They stopped near a quiet corner. The crowd moved around them like water around stones. He glanced at her folder. "Is that interview today?" She hesitated, then nodded. "I'm trying. I prayed for a chance." His voice softened. "Then maybe this is part of the answer." She looked up, eyes shining now. "Do you believe in that? That God arranges things?" He smiled faintly. "I believe the right people cross paths for a reason, and I've learned that the quiet miracles are often the most real." Her breath shook. "I felt so small at the counter." "And you still helped others," he said. "That says more about you than any title could." In that moment, she realized something. Being defended didn't just restore her place in the line, it restored her faith in herself.
Boarding time came, and they walked toward the gate, still without rushing, still without making the moment bigger than it needed to be. The airport remained loud, but inside her, something had become calm. At the gate, she hesitated, then turned to him. "I don't know how to thank you," she said softly. He looked at her like he had already received his thanks. "You already did," he replied, "when you picked up that toy, when you helped the elderly woman, when you stayed gentle, even after being embarrassed." She swallowed hard. "I almost cried. And you didn't let bitterness win," he said. "That's strength." A soft pause settled between them. Not romantic in a dramatic way, romantic in a respectful, hopeful way, like two tired hearts recognizing light in each other. She held her folder against her chest. "I'm scared," she admitted. "What if I'm not enough?" He answered quietly, carefully. "I've met many people with perfect resumes and empty hearts, and I've met a few people with humble lives and beautiful courage. If that door is meant for you, it will open. If not, another door will. God doesn't waste a sincere step." Her eyes filled again, but this time the tears felt warm, not painful. "I needed to hear that."
He nodded toward the gate. "Go. Do your best, and remember, you belong in every room you walk into, as long as you carry who you are." She took a breath, then gave a small, grateful smile. "I will." As she stepped forward, she looked back once. He didn't wave dramatically. He simply lifted his hand a little. Quiet support.
She walked onto the plane holding her boarding pass like it was more than paper. It felt like proof that kindness still has a place in the world, and that sometimes heaven answers prayers through ordinary people who choose gentleness. If this story warmed your heart, please take a moment to like the video. It truly helps these kindness stories reach more people. Subscribe for more calm, faith-touched stories that bring hope, and share this with someone who needs a gentle reminder that they matter. And in the comments, tell us, have you ever received kindness at the exact moment you needed it? Sometimes, the smallest act of kindness can change someone's world.